Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Switch It Up Show. I am here for you. I'm here for me. It is episode 73. I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Setrav. Setrav, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, man, I'm doing well because I took a journey in my game this week. How are you doing?
Well, my friend, I also took a very short trip. A very little excursion in my game. Our games could not be more different. We are two sides of the same coin, and I feel like that is both the blessing and curse of, this show, this episode, these two fighting reviews. But before we jump into that, we're gonna go ahead and let this music ride. In the great words of Mr. Seth Trav, Ana Mana Gochi. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's the crow.
That is it. And if you enjoyed those sweet tunes, you can see the links to all of the different music used here in this show right in the show notes, along with any gameplay video of the reviews we're talking about. Now, Mr. Seth Trav, because you have such a nice tale of adventure and wonder, to entertain us with, I'm gonna go ahead and set you up for success. If you don't mind, I'm gonna jump right in to my lighter fare of a game, if you would indulge me, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
You might have went on a big adventure, but I went on a little one with little shopping. Now, the nice thing about little shopping is that it is a little game meant for little people for a little amount of money. Currently, little shopping is at the low price, ladies and gentlemen, of $1.49. That is absolutely correct.
4 foot fine.
Absolutely, sir. You do not get any gold coins when you purchase this. I'm sorry, just $1.49, and you will be feeling fine with little shopping. Now, let me hit you with the small synopsis. Play and learn how to count. Simple and fun for toddlers and preschoolers. This is a simple, fun counting game for children. Learn to count has never been so easy and fun. Play and learn how to count. A simple game for toddlers and preschoolers. They say that like 5 times. This is a simple counting game for children. Learning to count has never been so easy and fun. They love it. 4 beautiful shops. It is a great opportunity to learn your numbers. Features include a great way to play a virtual store, play and practice counting, simple controls, drag and tap items, fill your virtual shopping cart, put your products on a desk and pay with virtual coins. And there's no risk because there are no ads or in-app purchases is what they're actually trying to say. So in this game, basically you're doing exactly what they're talking about. You have a few different stores that you can go to. There is a food store, there is a toy store, there is a grocery slash pharmacy type store, and there is a pet shop. And as you go to each one of these stores, you have a list of things to purchase. So if you go to the grocery store, you have a shopping list where you have to find the items, grab them, drag them into your cart. As you grab the right item, it will be checked off on your list. And then once you've got everything off the list, you proceed over to the checkout aisle where, of course, you have to take your items out of the bag, put them on the conveyor belt. The cashier will start the conveyor belt. It'll go over. They will scan said items. And then, of course, you'll have to pay the bill, at which point you will have to choose your money, give that money to the cashier, and be on your merry way and continue on the next shopping trip. This is definitely the game that I've played that is geared towards the lowest age level, but I figure there are all types of people out there listening to the Switch It Up show. We are popular all throughout the country, all throughout the world, and hopefully all throughout the ages, Mr. Trav. So I thought I would take a look at this one, and having a small child in my house, who might be, venturing into the video game world, since some time, I figured, you know what, let me take a look at this. Let me see what this is like. And the cool thing about this is it does pretty faithfully replicate a trick to the food store. These are all things that you have to do, and it features both like touch controls as well as being able to use a regular controller. Now at first I thought that the touch controls were the only way to be able to control this, because as I was using the the handheld controller, like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like that responsive. It seems a little like there's like a lag, almost like a delay. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know anybody who's gonna let like their like toddler play with their Nintendo Switch in hand, like just like in their hands. I'm like, that sounds terrifying to me. But you can in fact use a controller. I don't know what it would be like. Like, I don't know if they make like a controller that's a little bit more friendly for kids. Maybe the regular Joy-Con would actually just be fine. But
I contact Mad Cats about that one.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like Microsoft has all these special like adaptive controllers. Maybe there's one for the Nintendo Switch that's actually geared towards children. Then again, the Nintendo Switch is so like friendly when it comes to controllers. You could probably use like a lot of different USB controllers or even Bluetooth ones. They're pretty open about like working with just about
Bluetooth for sure. Yeah,
any controller you want, really. I don't know if this game would necessarily be fun or addicting, at least not for me as an adult, but I could definitely see like a kid like getting into this. It is certainly a good way to be able to practice your numbers and choose like identifying like which coin is which. Each one of them has a numeric value on it. Like I could see the counting thing, and as well as like learning the animals and like the process of actually going to the store and shopping. Like first you have to get your stuff, then you have to put it on the, like, I don't know, I feel like there's like building skills here. Couple different things to play with. It's $1.49, so it's that same mobile game type price. Keeping in mind the audience of this game and like what it's setting out to do versus like its price point, the biggest thing about this game that is kind of detracting from it is the controls, because it seems like the most responsive way to do it is like just touch. I wish the touch, the actual controllers responded a little bit better. That being said, I feel like this game's a 3.5.
Okay.
For $1.49, it knows what it is, because it's in competition with all those like apps, like for kids on like the iOS app store. So it's right there in that wheelhouse, and like I feel like there's actually like some learning skills here. Unlike a lot of games that for kids that are kind of just meant to monopolize their attention, where they're not getting anything out of that. Like at least with this, like you hopefully would learn something. Whether you're identifying like the animals in a pet store, or maybe like when you're paying for stuff, like actually like the counting aspect of it. I feel like there's positive things here, and unfortunately for a lot of like kid entertainment, not really all of it is positive. There's these stupid YouTube videos. I'm going off on a tangent now. There's these stupid YouTube videos where all they do is set trap, and I'm talking like on Preachcast we talked about Dude Perfect and how you hate them, and how they pretty much just like do tricks and stuff, even though like they do it like a million times. But for kids, they have whole YouTube channels set trap. I'm talking millions of views, millions of followers, and all they do, man, is they just open like those little, like, in Walmart where they have like the aisle where the magic cards are, like they have these little like eggs, and in each egg is a different prize, and all they do on these YouTube videos is they're like, I got a pack of 6 eggs, we're gonna open them,
Kinder eggs,
and then they hold them up like to the screen and just open them, and they like zoom the camera in a little bit more and a little bit more, and then they play like a sound, and it like kids get like drawn into it, and it's like boom, like 10 million views.
Oh my God, we're doing it wrong.
We are definitely doing it wrong, my man.
We're shutting down the game reviews. We're gonna start reviewing Kinder eggs.
That's it, and like barely reviewing, just more like opening and being like, oh my gosh, what's in this one? Like it's insane, my man. So at least with little shopping, like they're trying. 3.5, $1.49 on the eShop. Like I mean, come on now, that's a bargain.
Yeah, grab that if you got any kind of kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up one that is a very wild and mysterious journey. It's Truberbrook. It is $26.99 currently. It is marked down from $29.99, and you get 135 gold coins when you buy it digitally. Truberbrook is a thrilling mystery sci-fi adventure game. Enjoy an adventurous vacation to a 1960s parallel universe. A sci-fi mystery adventure game with handmade scenery. Imagine yourself on a vacation to Europe in the late 60s. Now picture yourself as a young American scientist, Hans Tronhauser. While, while
Okay.
you're at it, think of Truberbrook, a remote village in rural Germany, because that's where you end up after hitting the continent. But who cares? You won the trip in a lottery, or at least that's how it seems. But don't fear, instead of getting some rest, you could find yourself having to save the world. Features
Ooh.
suspense, mystery, thrills. After all, it's a single player sci fi mystery adventure game. Indulge in universal themes such as love, friendship, loyalty, self discovery, and dinosaurs. Handmade miniature scenery, full voice acting in both English and Deutsch. Atmospheric, moody soundtrack, up to 10 hours of super exciting gameplay. So, where to even start with Truberbrook? I wouldn't call it an adventure game, kind of at all. And I don't know if I really call it a point and click puzzle game. It's definitely point and click, but it's more along the lines of kind of scanning the room with your finger thing that they give you, the cursor, and just sort of clicking on items and seeing what's there. There's not really much puzzle to it because it's really just like there's a bit of puzzle because sometimes you have to go talk to people and then talk to other people and click certain things to pick up certain items. So in that regard, it's like a point and click puzzle kind of game. But adventure would suggest that you kind of have to run at some point. It gives you an option to run, but you never really have to run anywhere. You can just walk. You can waltz through the whole game. In all honesty, I want to say that this game would probably have functioned much better as a short film, or maybe just an hour and a half kind of movie. I also really want to stress that this is not a stop motion game because I've been getting ham blasted on Reddit about that because I called it a stop motion adventure game because it looks a lot like Fantastic Mr. Fox or even a Wallace and Gromit. But be sure to know that it's not actual stop motion. It's made using something called photogrammetry, I believe it is. It's really just miniature sets that they took pictures of and moved the lights around the sets to help make the lighting and shadowing in this game as amazing as it is, because I think it does look amazing. I think it really, really looks amazing. Somebody already had sent me an image of one of the characters showing that the mesh on them wasn't perfect, and that's because it's a digital creation of the character, fixed onto these miniature sets that they made. But I think it's gorgeous. I couldn't tell that playing it ever. I think it's so good looking. The story I want to say it varies in playtime. I've had different people tell me that it takes them 5 hours. This thing says that it could take up to 10. For me, it took about 5.5, maybe 6. But I was really, really just kind of grooving on the soundtrack because it's an amazing atmospheric soundtrack that I am hoping gets pressed to vinyl at some point because it's that good, at least to me. Like, it hits all my like lo-fi vibey tones, you know.
You do love them.
I do. As far as the story goes, it's very much akin to Twin Peaks. Very, very much. And they draw parallels almost immediately as soon as you meet the main character, because he's talking into a recording device a lot of the time throughout the game. And I forget what the woman's name is, but it's not Diane like it is in Twin Peaks. And they make like mention of like apple pie even in sort of the initial like prologue sort of thing, like apple pie and coffee, and this one's like, oh, I hate it. The voice acting I think is pretty okay. I feel like there could be more emotion. Like, it seemed like they were just sort of very laissez-faire reading through their lines. And I can't tell if that's because necessarily the people that had the accents or English wasn't their first language, or if they were just not doing that good at the accents. But I feel like there could have been a little bit more emotion in the game. There are some sort of mystery type things. I was definitely into the story. A lot of people I don't think would be that into it, just because it does sort of fall along the lines of the, say, Twin Peaks, Fringe, X-Files, Doctor Who, that kind of stuff. Very much more set up like a Twin Peaks, though, where it's not necessarily going to make much sense a lot of the time, and until you do some other things, and it can come off a little maybe blasé to some. But the visuals, man, I can't rave enough about how gorgeous this game looks. I think just because of the visuals, it outshines any of the shortcomings that this game might have. That and the soundtrack is awesome. The only other gripe that I really have about it is that the actual controller on it it felt a little off. Like I couldn't necessarily move and touch on items as much as I want to, because this was originally designed and released earlier on Steam, and I think using a mouse would definitely help the experience. But overall, having this game be, like I said, more of a short film or a movie would probably maybe have worked better, just because the actual gaming of it, it like I said, point and click, so sometimes it can get tedious. But for me, I loved it. I loved every second I played of it, and I wanted more. And I guess because it's a little short, but again, the story, I don't think you needed to drag it out anymore, because it was fun and gorgeous, so gorgeous. Soundtrack amazing. Because of all that, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, man, you were definitely singing the praises of this game for a while to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really wanted to try my best to sort of nitpick it, because I'm so blown away and captivated by just the music and the graphics, or the visuals of it, because like I said, visually it really could fool you for being a complete stop motion thing. At least it was fooling me most of the time. But take a look at the IGC, because they will let you have it. That's the internet gaming community. They'll let you know all about why this game is not that great. But I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And especially the soundtrack. It really, really brings you in on that atmosphere. I did see a couple of weird complaints. Like, a couple people that were doing reviews were like, "Oh, well, like what really makes it like Deutschland, like you can't really tell that it's like Germany half the time. It could be anywhere with mountains." But I'm like, that kind of adds to the charm of it, I think, like anywhere with mountains or a forest or a lake around it, like that doesn't bother me at all. The only reason I think that it would be, out in Germany is because of the names of a lot of the shops and the way the characters speak to you. So yeah, that's something that I didn't really care about. I think it adds to the charm.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if they tell me I'm in Germany, I'm in Germany. Like,
right, you're in Castle Dracula now. Oh, really? Why am I not in like London, in the Tower Square over there, or whatever the hell? Like, give me a break. Like, what do you want? Right? You need to do like actual like photos of Germany. You need to know that I'm walking through Berlin. Here's where the wall is in the 1960s alternate history. Like cut me a break here.
Like, as long as it looks believable. Like, if you're walking through, like, what's supposed to be Germany, and then you see like the Empire State Building, I'd be like, okay, that's wrong.
That's not right. Right, but that's exactly it. Like, I could be in the Swiss Alps. Who cares?
Right.
They're talking to me with an accent. I know that I'm a foreigner in a strange land, and some interesting business is happening here. And that's again, like I said, I felt like it was part of the charm of the game that it could be interchangeable with other places, because it's so sort of. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't played it yet. So to me, it's part of the charm of the science fiction mystery type stuff about it.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, hey, no reason to nitpick, for sure.
Exactly.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we do here on the Switch It Up show is we try to nitpick a little bit. That way what to spend your hard-earned money on, because we want you to make a good choice when it comes to your Nintendo Switch games. But for those weird times that you don't, remember, you can always switch it up.